Fred Schultz, and I'm running for president as a write-in. First of all, I know that many of you might be worried about writing me in because you're worried that Trump would then win. And let me just say this. If the day before the election, if I'm down in the polls, yes, I will swing it to Hillary. I mean, Trump scares me a lot more than her. She scares me some, and he scares me a lot more. I mean, he reminds me a lot more of Hitler. And, he could get us all killed. He could try to make us all his slaves or his sex slaves. I mean, I know. I oppose him. And I've been saying for a year that he's been accused twice of rape in court papers, once by his ex-wife and once by a 13-year-old sex worker. But anyway, let's get to my platform briefly. I intend to end the war on drugs, end all victimless crimes, end the overseas wars, bring all our troops home to protect us here, and yes, build walls on the border, spend tons on our infrastructure, but not throw anyone out. Everybody illegal, undocumented here gets to stay. Most of them are refugees of this war on drugs anyway, fleeing violence south of our border. But let me say this. I will also create 50 million new jobs, spending it on the infrastructure, converting quickly, immediately, from a oil and gas-based energy to renewable energy. We'll have free college. We'll forgive all student loans. We'll have free law school. How will we do all these things? Tax Trump. That's right, tax Trump. Tax Trump and the 1% of the population who owns 45% of our nation's wealth. That is, our nation is worth at least $125 trillion. Therefore, that 1% of the population is worth at least $50 trillion. If we tax them annually at a rate of about 5%, we will bring in about several $trillion more. Also, I want to cut down taxes. Cut taxes down greatly. Actually, I want to make it so that anybody who earns under $80,000 pays no taxes. Over $80,000, you'll pay 10% on your income tax. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Finally, as far as ending the war on drugs, you could say, what that means to me is I know that all victimless and consensual crimes, such as drug prohibition, such as drug prescription even, are unconstitutional. And I will enforce the Constitution, day one, meaning I will free the 2 million people enslaved, wrongfully enslaved, in our jails for victimless crimes. I will pardon the 70 million people convicted of such, quote, crimes. I will stop 15 million, maybe it's 14 or 13, we don't really know, million wrongful arrests a year. This will also, of course, stop most of these police interactions with people where people end up dead. Turns out they've been greatly underreporting this number of people killed, which is, of course, disproportionately people of darker skin color. But it turns out the number is maybe even up to 2,000 people killed a year during arrest. But let's get to the heart of the matter. I know a lot of you care about legalizing marijuana. And you think that if you support JILLSTEIN or Gary Johnson, they'll be legalizing marijuana. Well, they are lying. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Why am I saying that? Because they consider these laws to be constitutional. So if Gary Johnson believes in legalizing marijuana, and by the way, he doesn't care about legalizing any of the other drugs, he doesn't even believe that should be done, which will mean we'll still have the attacks by the police, we'll still have high prices, we'll still have high crime in our nation and south of our border. But getting back to marijuana, he believes that's up to the states. He believes that's up to the states. So while he might advocate making it not a federal crime, he would have to leave that up to the DEA and up to whatever state you're living in. Even if you make it not a federal crime, then you got to worry about what state you're living in. JILLSTEIN, the same thing. And with all other drugs, she wants to make marijuana legal, yes, but it would still be left up to the states under her. You must understand that. And on top of that, all these other drugs, she believes that it should go to a committee of doctors to decide what drugs should be legal and not only legalizing the healthy ones. I say no. I say we have a right to do to our own bodies as we wish. As we wish. That's why our nation's founders founded this nation, so that we couldn't be arrested, so that they couldn't steal our property, steal our families, and enslave us in jail, torturing us for years, just because we did something that the government didn't like. No. As long as we're not hurting somebody, we have a right to do it. As Thomas Jefferson said, the legitimate powers of government extend only to such acts as are injurious to others. In other words, if I'm not hurting someone, the government's not allowed to be involved. That's just not allowed. It's unconstitutional, and I will enforce the Constitution. I will make it so we can do whatever we want to our own bodies, including smoke marijuana. Day one I'm in office. Everybody else, you have to pray you live in a state where they agree with you. And that's not right. Not right. Okay, I love you. Please write in Fred for Prez. Fred Schultz, SCHULTZ for president. I'm a lawyer. I love you. Please write me in. Thank you. Bye.